Let's continue our conversation, rejoined by Alina Hernandez. Alina, as we mentioned earlier, part of a team that opened the first American News Bureau in Havana in 2001, currently an online managing editor for our parent website, Newsmax.com. Alina, the president touched on this briefly. Here's the concern that many of us have. Father Time would take the course and Fidel and Raul Castro go the way of all flesh, probably sooner rather than later. To say that we're, quote, embracing the future by letting those guys hang on to power with their brutal, repressive regime, how does it really help the Cuban people?
Well, I think that when you have a more open society, when you have more access to people from other countries that will be coming there, when you have more access to American goods, more access to the American people, Cubans are eager for change. They're not particularly enamored with the Castro brothers. So I believe that this will be the spark that will empower the Cuban people to take matters into their own hands and to decide their politics and to decide what kind of government they want. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I don't think that the embargo was successful in removing the Castro brothers or, quite frankly, the cronies that they put into power. But I think that kind of change is going to have to come from the Cuban people. I think what the president has done is provided perhaps that catalyst to help them make decisions about their own future.
Alina, as we were following the news narrative, the developing story began with the announcement that American contractor Alan Gross was freed for what were called humanitarian reasons. Then we find out that both sides swapped spies, including a high-value U.S. agent. But a whole lot of folks, including another Cuban American, the junior senator from Florida, Marco Rubio, say we didn't get enough in return from the Cuban government to strike this type of diplomatic deal. Let's take a listen to Marco Rubio.
Did they agree to freedom of press? No. Did they agree to free and unfettered access to the internet? No. Did they agree to elections? Absolutely not. Did they agree to independent political parties? No. Did they agree to freedom of assembly? No. What democratic opening are we getting here? None whatsoever. And so that's why I've said this president has to be the worst negotiator we've ever had. And he has betrayed those Cubans that have worked so hard and have sacrificed so much for the freedom and liberty of the island.
Alina, what would you say in response to Senator Rubio?
I share some of his concerns. I absolutely share the concerns about, open freedoms. I share the concern about, I'm not quite sure what we got in return in terms of, this secretive spy that we don't know anything about. However, what they did agree to was engagement. I think the policy of sanctions and lack of engagement has not worked. So I'm optimistic that the Cubans have agreed to engagement with the U.S. Government and with the Obama administration. I am cautiously optimistic that will benefit the Cuban people.
Alina, it's not my intent to put you on the spot, but you deal basically with the written word, albeit with internet journalism that can change by the nanosecond. Given the events of the last day, if you had to come up with a headline that not only reflects the news, but quite frankly, your interpretation of what is happening, could you give us the headline you would formulate about this entire story and all its implications?
I would say Cuba's second chance. Cuba gets a second chance.
Cuba's second chance. Well, that's certainly one way to put it, and something that we will continue to monitor because a lot remains to be done. Will Congress go along with the president, or is this a political splash that offers a lot of great hope and perhaps to see it dashed? We're going to stay in touch with you. We appreciate your good work at our parent website, Newsmax.com. We'll stay in touch and monitor this and get your reaction as events warrant. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Thank you, JD.
Alina Hernandez checking in via Skype with her thoughts as a Cuban American on what is transpiring in terms of a diplomatic initiative. Coming up, we take a look not only at Cuba, but at Russia. Vladimir Putin, with his end-of-the-year press conference, He doesn't like the economic sanctions, but he's trying to get economic reforms, he claims, in Russia. Steve Forbes will be here to talk about it.